Hello and welcome to our coverage of the Ultimatum Queer Love. I'm Aysha, and we are here to talk about the premiere of the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2, dropped on Netflix. Hope you've seen it. If not, rush and go watch it so that you can come back and hear all of our spoiler-filled thoughts on the premiere itself. I'm not alone. I'm here with my lovely co-host. First up, we have the Dr. Evvie Jagoda. How are you?
I am doing so great, Asia. I missed the show. I missed talking to you guys about it. It felt so fun to watch that first episode and the things we do for you people because it was so hard to not watch episode 2. So I'm really excited to talk about this with you both and then immediately go watch the second episode. I can't wait.
Tonight. And of course, we are also joined by Mary Kwiatkowski. Mary, how are you?
Doing great. I am very looking forward to my flight tomorrow where I'm going to be binging the rest of this
Yes.
rest of episodes. Because same. It was really hard to stop. I feel like we usually get kind of a cliffhangery first episode in these shows, and boy, did they leave me on a cliff.
Oh, they did. And I was like, I when the episode ended, I felt that I was holding my breath.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just literally on the edge of my seat.
Yep.
But like I said, make sure you go watch the premiere, or just if you just enjoy listening to us, that you're more than welcome to do that. We want to make sure that you all go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed, where you can get all of our coverage on The Ultimatum, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, Perfect Match, which was just announced that Perfect Match season 3 will be back on August. That's the one I was thinking of. August 1st. So they just announced the cast of that. Very exciting cast there. So our coverage of Perfect Match will also be on this feed. So just subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed. You won't miss a thing. You can also find it at weknowrealitytv.com and the RHAP YouTube channel. Also, this is not our first podcast talking about the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2. Make sure you go back and watch our last podcast we did about why you should watch, because we went in detail about each of these amazing people on this season and their ages, their celebrity crushes, everything about them, their zodiac signs. We gave all of our thoughts and our predictions based on their brief bio. So make sure you go catch that.
Yes, check it out. Check it out because we did all of that so that this time we can get like right into the juicy gossip, right into what's happening. We definitely learned more about the couples in this episode than we did just from the article, and more about the individual people. But I definitely think listening to that podcast really helps also, especially if you want to watch it on YouTube where you can see pictures.
Exactly. So we definitely, if you were anything like me watching the beginning of this, like, wait, what are the names?
Like, normalize name tags on these shows.
Yes. The Chiron should be there the whole
time.
Like, do not take it away.
Here's what I need. I need a giant Chiron. Fill up half the screen. Actually, just shrink them down, and then on the other half of the screen, I need their name, I need their age, I need whether or not they were the ultimatum giver or receiver, who their previous partner was, and who they thought is hot so far. That's what I need to know.
That's the equivalent of the Survivor, like, has an immunity idol.
I need all of this information shown to me at all times.
Has felt good vibes with.
Yes. Yes. Some of these Chirons would have to be quite long because a lot is going on already. So
AJ's Chiron, so long.
Yeah.
So like has vibes with infinite. Literally everyone.
Yeah. They're like, why are these people from production on the list too? AJ knew no limits.
Exactly.
But yes, we will be having the pictures up of the couples as we discuss them. And we're covering only the premiere this episode. Then we are going to be covering episodes 2 through 5 on the next podcast. And then we'll go ahead and round it out with 6 through 10 on the 4th podcast of this season of our coverage. So let's get into it because there's so much to discuss. There's so many dynamics. There's so many reasons that they were just continuing to show me why this is just so much more captivating than the straight version.
It just is.
So many more options.
Yes. Take your options and double them.
Yes. Exactly. So we got started with kind of like everybody was at a table with Joanna Garcia Swisher,
Which, by the
who
way, sorry, one thing about the show. Why is the host not queer? Why is the host not queer?
The first thing in
Chriselle
my
is
notes,
right there.
I had copied over my notes from season 1, and the very first thing in my notes from season 1 is Joanna Garcia Swisher immediately asked, "Why isn't she queer?"
Literally.
And then I literally started this season. I'm like, maybe she's queer now. Maybe that's gonna be the story. Maybe that's the story. Nope.
Has like
She's
a
just like-
Sophia Bush arc. No.
Yes. Oh
Yeah,
my
it
God.
happened.
Get Sophia Bush hosting this show.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the show. Yeah.
Yes.
But no, like she even mentioned, like, oh, my husband, my kids, even though I'm not in a queer relationship,
Right.
it's like she
She's
heard
like,
that
even though we're
feedback.
not in a queer relationship, I am a wife. And we're like, okay,
Right.
so
Right.
are lots of people.
I
How
am
does
in
that
a
qualify
marriage.
you? I
Right.
say on this podcast talking about all this.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
My bad. You know what?
It's
No, it's not your bad, Mary.
I am
You're
the
allowed.
Joanna
She should be
Garcia
out.
Swisher of this podcast.
just our very own.
Our very own.
But I look to like, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
true. But
It's
I really do
wild.
feel that did you say Chriselle, Aysha?
Mhm.
I really do feel like this show, it's really vibing off of the, in the format ish of like the Love is Blind universe. So you'd have the Lachey's. We should
Yes.
have the queer Lachey's. And I think we all know that that's Chriselle and G Flip. And
Yep.
that's what we should be watching. And
Exactly.
if
And
only.
why is it not a couple?
Right.
Yes, I mean, maybe Joanna is like Vanessa Lachey's friend or something. It just doesn't make sense. Like,
Right.
even if it were like a man and a woman,
Right.
they're like, it's a couple. You're sticking with the theme. Like, why have Vanessa and Nick on the straight version and then just Joanna?
Maybe Joanna is just me and was watching the straight version and was like, this is good, but would be so much better if it was just a bunch of lesbians. And I think that just might be where she's at.
Then let her tell us that. I want her to tell us that. I
I'm
want her
telling
to
you that.
explain herself.
Exactly. But yeah, we have her.
She's there. She's
Yeah.
there. That's how you know.
All right. So one of the first couples that we got into was AJ and Britney.
Yes. And this is a big one because I don't know how I didn't see it coming, because I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I did not have on my bingo card AJ's incredible chemistry with every single person on the show.
No, not at all.
AJ was bringing it. Oh my God. In all,
Yes.
yeah, really just vibing on every single one of the dates. And I feel like we're getting a very interesting, it's an interesting, so the kind of story that's been set up for us, right, is it seems like AJ kind of wants to be the provider. That's how how she sees herself. But then Britney, it's like she doesn't need that, which is kind of an interesting setup. That's kind of an interesting, I don't know. I feel, I don't know. There's a lot of layers to this story. And it seems somewhat, I feel like I can recognize this couple in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like AJ wants to fit into the traditional roles of, a provider and like a caretaker. And it's almost as if AJ amplifies all the success of Britney. Like, oh, it's great. But then like, how can I continue to provide? Like, how can I guess, level up to give Britney even more, when it's like Britney is, she seems like a boss. She's a very independent woman. She is self-sufficient. She's not looking for someone to provide for her. So it seems like, okay, that's great of you to want, AJ, but that's not what she even needs.
This is something I feel like we've actually seen in the straight version of Ultimatum. There's usually a couple like this where it's like, there's like a pride element. And not pride.
No pun intended.
But you know what I mean? And it is interesting because I feel like we didn't get to hear Britney say, like, this is what I like that AJ is bringing to the table. Because I think there's a lot there. as we've seen, AJ seems awesome. So yeah, I don't know. That's just not as easily stated or not as easily quantifiable as what I think AJ wants, which is like, oh, but if I could be providing for you too, then we could be a little bit more on the same playing field.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Mal and Yoli from last season, or like, especially I remember Mal a lot was talking about, wanting to be able to be like financially ready and things like that for marriage. Although I guess this is kind of, it feels less about the practicality and more about the emotional thing, where it's also like AJ, is masked and is presenting in a masculine way, and kind of like, it feels like there's a vibe of like, she wants to take on the kind of, quote unquote husband role and be like, that's what I'm doing. And I feel like that is kind of a thing where sometimes like people who are, it's like, obviously she's not a man. She's here on the queer ultimatum, but like is like wanting to, like, I feel like there's a lot of people like that of like, how am I being this role in this relationship? And one way is kind of taking on some of these like classic tropes of masculinity, but like, I think it's covered. It could be, and some of that is familiar to me personally as well. And I'll just say, AJ, what do you need though, baby? Like, like,
honestly, I mean, I think it's so interesting because I do think like they've been dating 5 years. I'm sure there's so much love there, but it's just like this hump and taking this next step. And I clocked it from the sit down with Joanna. Was like, AJ's gonna say all the sweet nothings to you. Like AJ was taught, like, love bombing seems harsh because they have been dating 5 years. Like, it's not love bombing, but it was one of those things where I was like, that seems like AJ's play. Which we clearly saw.
Yeah. I feel like Joanna was like, so AJ, like, why don't you want to get married? And AJ was like, Britney's just so beautiful. Like, like that.
She is breathtaking. She takes, it was just like, oh, okay.
Totally.
Wasn't the question.
Totally.
But I mean, it seems like they are sad about doing this, like as a couple, like that last morning they had together with, AJ crying and stuff. But once the speed dating started, AJ was over the moon, so excited to get it like popping.
It was like a muscle that she hasn't flexed in a long time. And it's like, oh, this is fun. I remember this.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and I think this is the thing about, and then it's funny because like, I know we're jumping, but like then when Britney was like crying to her and actually like needed emotional support from her, AJ is like, okay, cool. I'm going to go do my like flirt thing more. And it's like, you actually, this is how you could be the provider, the emotional rock thing. I'm critical to this because I feel like I have some of these patterns myself. So I'm like, hello, what are you doing?
AJ's like, ooh. I don't know what you need right now. No, I'm telling you, I need you to be here. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to go enjoy this experience.
Yeah, so, exactly. This doesn't feel fun.
Right.
But the next couple we were introduced to, Marie and Mel. They've been together for 4 years. We got all into their bios in our last podcast, so make sure you go catch that if you haven't.
A lot of synergy with them and like a similar-ish dynamic with them and Britney and AJ, I think.
Yes. Mel is like, I want to be is kind of like business driven and things like that. Is kind of like wants to be more of like ready in all these whatever those ways are, and is afraid of fucking it up.
But Mel is also the one who's like, oh, time to get my flirt on.
100%.
Yeah, it's so interesting too, because I think, we do typically see the ultimatum receiver is the one that has more fun with the speed dating. I think we saw the one exception with Megan.
Right.
But usually if you receive the ultimatum, you're just like, oh, this is about to be a good time, where the ultimatum giver is like, wait, no, I feel like I'm losing us.
Yeah.
Right.
And we usually get, and I feel like I have a hypothesis of who this will be, but we usually get a couple people who are the ultimatum givers, who the way they partner up is usually more like a security, emotional sort of like, let's vent about the same things that we're feeling in this experience. This is both hard to do. Whereas the ultimatum receivers are like, ooh, who do I vibe with? Who's cute? Let's talk.
Well, and then I think there is a thing where then also those ultimatum givers who like actually are the like run headfirst into a relationship people also sometimes are the ones that surprisingly quote unquote are the ones that then are more likely to fall in love because they're wife guys. That's why they're like that, you know, and they're gonna do that wherever they go. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I also see some of that potentially happening here as well.
Yeah. So it's interesting with these two, just because, you know, it does seem like they are very into each other. They do have their business, but they did acknowledge that the business has been taking their food truck business has been taking priority. So they really just want to focus in on each other. Next up, we have Haley and Pilar. Let's see.
This one was one of the ones where I'm like, are you really
wrong pick? Yeah.
No, like
I was like these side profiles. I couldn't tell.
I just am like, really? You're gonna walk away from this relationship? Really? Like, if this doesn't work out, I'm just if she's not ready to get married right now, I don't know. I'm just like, when Pilar was talking about the reasons why she doesn't want to get married and like all this stuff about like her family and like how she would want them to be there, or like that's what she would imagine if she's doing a wedding, like. I don't know. That just sounds so like reasonable and stuff that like you should like just like actually like work through. Yeah. And like figure out how to do. And like, I don't know. I feel like Haley was really, and obviously we know like the producers are trying to get them
because
to really
every couple said it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Of course they're staying in this ultimatum framework, but I'm just like, y'all have been together for 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
But then it was, I liked it when it on the dates, how it was coming up, the stuff of like, they were each other's like first time with girls. And like there's, I really think it was fun to see the flirt get on there as well.
Exactly. I mean, cause they are kind of like, yeah, like you said, since they are each other's first experience with a girl, they're kind of soaring their wild oats. They're finally seeing what, you know, it is like being with a different woman.
Right.
Which is like, this, I guess, framework would benefit a couple like this, but it's also 10 years. And it's so easy to think the grass is greener on the other side after so long.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I thought it was really interesting that like, because of her dynamic, Pilar's dynamic with her family, she had to hide their relationship for 8 years.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
She could have got a bachelor's degree and a master's in that time.
Maybe she did. We don't know. Yeah, it's very interesting because I think that there is a little bit of, if I was going to like Monday morning psychoanalyze, like probably a little bit of like codependency of like, this has been my safe space, my safe person to be with for partially in secret from my family and all of this kind of thing. Plus, since I think it was Pilar who had said that they had both been previously dating men, they might be in a situation where it's like, this is their time to find out also, like, do I want to date other women, or is it just the person? Like, you never know. So it's very intriguing. And while we didn't see a ton of Haley mingling, definitely got to see Pilar have some conversations that were very interesting.
A lot. Yes. We did learn that Pilar was half Nicaraguan and half Filipino.
Okay, one thing I want to say about like both Pilar and it's Mel also, right, who kind of has this, or no, sorry, Megan, who have a similar story of like like hardness with the families and like balancing all that. And we got to see them talk about that, which was
some
cool.
of it is probably at least some of it culturally as well.
Right. And my question about both of those is, okay, but now you're on this Netflix queer dating show. So like, does that now, is that what's happening there? You know,
I wonder if the mindset is, oh, they're not going to see this.
Probably. I mean, but it is interesting, especially with Pilar being like, to me, it's just that marriage is so public and stuff. That's like, you're on a public show that's called
Public
Queer Love. Yeah.
Right. It's like, you might think your parents are going to watch it, but you really don't think anyone in their life is going to be like, isn't that your kid on this Netflix show on Netflix? Famously not a hidden gem in indie short. This is a Netflix
This isn't
show.
Tubi.
Exactly.
Most people, even if you don't have a Netflix account, have access in some capacity to Netflix.
Right.
So-
and I'm like, maybe it's like I feel like going on Survivor, it's like, great, now everyone knows my business and I never
Mhm.
have, like, so there
Yes,
is.
how did you two feel?
Yeah.
I forgot. I could tap into real answers.
Yeah. Well, I was super out, like,
Yeah.
it was a different thing where I'm like, but there was an element of like, great, now I never have to come out to anyone that's ever seen Survivor. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Right.
kinda nice. So I don't know, maybe there is an element of like jumping in feet first and, just.
Right. They're like, this is it. If you find out about it, then like that,
It's like
But-
when Aysha came out on The Pride Has Spoken.
Yes,
And then it's like, you can never put that genie back in the bottle,
Yeah, because Netflix. Everybody has Netflix. Everyone has YouTube.
Right. That's right.
The Pride Has Spoken, famously the number 1 podcast in the world.
No, yeah, exactly.
Listen to it.
Exactly.
I mean, y'all have been having a banging season.
That's right.
Let's,
Yeah.
so-
So anyway, interested to see what happens. this
Yeah.
season.
I mean, I've never seen so many articles written after a podcast. So I'm
Thanks.
just
Yes.
saying, it's been
Yes.
a great season.
Yes, it has
Yes.
been. Katora and Sapphire are so beautiful. Get them on
Yes.
the next season, except not, because I just want them to.
Yes,
have a-
please.
Oh yeah, no,
don't.
don't.
The way
Well,
I would
wait,
call
why
them
are they not
repeatedly.
hosting?
Yes,
hosting.
hosting. Yes. Oh my
We-
God, they would be
Look, Netflix, we've done the
amazing.
work. We figured this out.
Oh my God.
Oh
Could you
my gosh.
imagine if next season, instead of Joanna, it's like, who's that going to be? Oh my God. It's Katora and Sabaya, the hottest fucking queer couple in reality TV. Are you kidding me?
That would be insane.
Wow.
I
Okay.
love
I'd
it.
watch.
I
I'd
love
watch.
it so
As
much.
if we weren't
Wow.
already watching.
Move over,
Um,
Nick and Vanessa.
Right, please.
Look, I'm sure that Joanna, what's her name, is a very lovely person.
Swisher.
But
Garcia Swisher.
No offense to her.
Oh,
Congratulations.
before we move on to the next couple that we were introduced to, they gave them all engagement rings.
Oh
yeah, I
This
feel
is
like they've
new.
done that. I feel like they had done that on maybe it was just Love Is Blind. So maybe it's not this show, but I do love this. But also I was trying to like count real quick how many there were. Like, did they have a lot of selection, or was it like whoever gets past it for? Hope you don't pick the one that
Right.
someone else wants.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they don't have like the bachelor.
Also, wait, were they
making
picking
some
their
weird
own,
ones.
or were they picking one that they might give to someone? Now I'm confused.
Right.
Right.
You would have to think they're
Lot of
picking their
questions.
own.
Yeah.
I think
that-
they were giving them empty ring boxes.
or nice like cubic
Here's a nice place
zirconian.
to store your ring,
Yeah.
and it's red
Yeah.
like Netflix.
Yeah. Yes.
So next up, we were
Mm.
introduced to Kyle
Yes.
and Bridget. They've been together for 2.5 years. And it's very much a situation where Bridget just doesn't believe in marriage, the concept of
Mhm.
marriage. And Kyle's like, yeah, but I want to like show you off as like as my spouse.
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
why are you taking that from me?
but I
Um,
want to make you mine.
Right.
Right. Oh, and Mary did some on the ground field research, got some
some field research,
field
DM some
research.
people.
AKA sent some DMs. Mary, can you give us a quick pronouns update from your
I did. I checked in with both Bridget and Kyle. Both of them said that they do use she regularly. Either are fine. So we may be interchangeably using those throughout. Just wanted to make sure everyone knew on our coverage that we did check.
Yeah, and it's always just best to ask people. Be like Mary, everyone. Just ask people.
Send a DM being like, hey.
Just do
And
some
that's why
field
Mary
research.
gets to be on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because she knows what's up.
Wow. Evvie, don't you forget I made this podcast.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna say I'm the guest. I'm sorry. I was just fucking around. Thank you for having me.
You just drop out.
Kick me off
Um,
whenever. Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting that Bridget is kind of like making it seem like a wild concept that Kyle wants marriage next, because
Mm.
Bridget was trying to like, listen, I've committed to being your girlfriend. What more do you want?
Right. Which I mean, it's like it is a little like what I feel like sometimes it's like, I don't know. I relate to both sides of that, where it's like, what is different about being
Right.
married, especially when nowadays there's people you're living together. You've got did they say if they have a dog or something?
They
Like,
do have a dog.
Mhm.
it's like, but then clearly it does mean something real to Kyle, and it does mean something real to Bridget that she doesn't want to do. So I feel like there's some like teasing out that they need to do of like what it is or like what that matters, but it's like, yeah, it's just not so crazy. Also,
wait, did they have a dog, or was that Pilar and
multiple people
who
had
doesn't
dogs.
have a dog?
a lot of
Yeah.
them have dogs, you know.
Yeah. We have 3.
Yeah.
I think it kind of is both things, because it's really the question of like, well, if it doesn't make a difference, then why not do the thing that your partner would like? But that goes both ways. Then like what are if it's going to be the same situation? I think, you know, the classic thing is like, oh, but marriage is like somehow more of a commitment, more permanent, more final, right? But you know, people get divorced, so how final is it?
Yeah. I mean, it is also one of those things where I wonder if this was the mindset at the beginning of the relationship. I mean, like that's a very early conversation. And so I wonder if it was their views on marriage were the same at the beginning of the relationship, and it was just a situation where Kyle was thinking that Bridget will come around to the idea, or is this like new development over the course of their relationship, or they never discussed it?
Well, and I think Bridget said something like in the intro of them of it's something Kyle realized maybe that they wanted along the way, or something like that. So yeah, maybe there was some sort of shift, but it is like the kind of thing where, you know, if it is really important to you, maybe that's something, you know, you gotta talk about. But then it is also, if it's something important to you, when are you supposed to say that? You know what I mean? Like I relate to that too. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, on the first day with my girlfriend, I was like, yeah, do you want marriage? We both like, yes. Okay. Woo.
Nice.
Okay. The same page.
You just say it. You just do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Ask that up front. Yeah, it's interesting. I did love hearing all about their like first date into first week of dating. Basically, they went on a date and then scheduled a second one, and then both were like, "Oh wait, that actually seems really far away. You want to do it? Do it closer? That's so cute."
So cute. So cute.
Yeah, they are cute, and like even this picture we have right here, so cute. But Bridget said something interesting in that she was like, if this doesn't change, or if this doesn't shift my perspective, I don't know what would. Which valid. Like if seeing your partner get like bond with someone else in ways that you don't even know until the show comes out. No, maybe they're honest, but you know, like that that is something that will like push your limits.
Yeah. And this is all going to be Bridget saying like, I want to understand why it's so important to you. And I want to understand, you know, maybe through my own trial marriage or through yours, like how this is going to make things different. It's interesting.
Yeah. So the next couple, we have a lot of couples this season. The next couple is Dana and Megan. And we know that Dana issued the ultimatum. And it's we learned that Dana knew 6 months in that she wanted to marry Megan, but Megan is Lebanese and culturally is not as acceptable to be gay. And so that's something that they kind of deal with in their relationship, because obviously, you know, Megan marrying a woman would be a really big deal.
I really felt for Megan. Like it just obviously throughout the whole episode, we saw her going through a lot of turmoil, but I just feel like, that's so intense. Like I just don't love the vibe. I feel like Dana is conflating Megan's reservation about like forcing the issue with her family as like that's not choosing her, that's not or something, as like that's a reflection on who, like on how much she cares about Dana. And like it's like obviously I think there's some truth of like, if you want to live out and proud and the other person doesn't, that is going to be hard, and that is maybe not something you want to do. But in terms of like what it means, like I don't know. I feel like Dana was like putting so much pressure on that's like really stressful. Like forcing that issue with your family. I don't know. I just think that should be something that you get to do on your own timeline.
Yeah, because Dana even said it later in the episode, just kind of like, oh well, I think it's more of Megan choosing herself over her
Right.
family.
Right. Which, like, okay, valid, but it's like you're gonna break up with her if she doesn't do that in like 6 months or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting because Dana says, I want Megan to stand up to her parents.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing that's tricky here is like, if you're dating someone and their family, maybe they give or take whether or not they like you or don't like you, but they have issues with your relationship fundamentally, right? That would be really hard to date a person.
Right.
And I can totally, I feel like it was, I hate to say this because 25 is not that young, but it's like, I feel like it's very
Baby.
obvious who the 25-year-olds in the cast are
Right.
sometimes.
Yes.
But I
yes.
always, because I feel like you'd want to either, it's a very easy thing to say, like, I either want my significant other's family to like me and accept our relationship, or like, can we just cut them out? Right.
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
kind of what it feels like.
Right.
And I get that. I get that thought process. And it also is like, it's not great for a relationship to have a family involved that doesn't support you. Like that's hard. And
Right.
that's like half of the Am I the Asshole posts are about this kind of thing, right? So I get the frustration that Dana is probably feeling, especially but they've also only been dating for like a year and a half. So
Right. And yeah, and they are both still like yeah, it's like Dana's 25, Megan's only 27. Like they're you know, that it's still so young. And I don't know. It's like I feel like Dana's not thinking through also the implication of like, you really want your partner to like blow up her life before she's ready for you, like potentially get like isolated from her family. Like it's just rough. And it's very hard to relate to that experience if you haven't had it. And so maybe that is just like a fundamental incompatibility about them. But like, I don't know. I just don't like seeing people try to like pull the other person out of the closet or like with again, we are on a Netflix show, so who knows.
And we don't all talk about people this way because we are all on the other side of 30, so
right.
that gives us wisdom.
Right,
we're over the hill.
Yes
yeah,
exactly.
In this couple, they have the shortest relationship, so you have such a good point that like, what is the rush? Like if y'all started dating when Dana was 24 and now 25, you're like, look, do it. Like, what are you waiting for? Aren't we worth it? I'm like,
it's like the people who go on The Bachelor and they're like 23 and they're like, this is my chance to find love. I'm like, is it though? It's like, go to a bar. What are you talking about?
Right. Totally.
And it's definitely not from a lack of like, it definitely, like I think we saw throughout this entire episode that Megan is so into Dana.
Totally.
Like the love is there.
Yeah.
If the only issue is Megan's family, then you would think that love is worth fighting for you to stand by your partner through them slowly getting comfortable with, person by person or, whatever the case may be. It's not a never, or else they wouldn't still be together, right?
Exactly.
Right. And I'll just say it, to me, Megan's the hottest.
Yes. Okay. I agree. We were talking about that pre-show and I definitely agree. Because I didn't peep that as much when we were going through like the cast photos, but watching it and getting Megan in her full essence.
Hot.
This is so interesting because when we looked at the picture originally, the very first picture,
yeah,
the first person who jumped out to me, Megan. I'm like, love the look, love everything. And I'm watching the show, did not move down. That's still great. But there was another person who surprised me, who in the picture I was like, eh. And then in the show I'm like,
okay, cannot wait to get there.
Can I guess?
Yeah, you can guess. I don't know if you're gonna guess right, but sure.
Bridget?
It is Bridget.
Bridget.
I was on the show. I was like,
that,
I don't know how you got that because I like, and nothing wrong with the pictures. The pictures are great too. But in the show, I was just like, man, Bridget is like the smile.
I saw that
the
too.
Twinkle in the eyes.
You don't get.
I want to be standing across from Bridget talking.
You do not get Bridget's full essence from the photo.
A picture. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, no, I was that exact same way. I was like, whoa,
I know
Bridget is really good looking.
Yeah.
Not that I was shocked for the picture.
No, they're all very beautiful people.
Yeah, of course. They're on a Netflix show.
Right. They're all hot. To be clear, they're all hot.
Right.
Yes. Meanwhile, I have a face for podcasting, so
that wrong. If you're watching the YouTube video, you know that Mary's beautiful.
Right.
Thank you. I
We've done
appreciate
that before on our Love is Blind pod. We were like, if you only listen to the audio,
tell us
imagine
what
what we
God,
look
that's
like,
hilarious.
and then
That's
come to the
hilarious.
YouTube. And some people are like, whoa, you're not what I think.
One of these days, I will watch Love is Blind. I will do it one day.
One day.
Fun. That would be a fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Not to get sidetracked. That would be
Right.
so cool if they didn't show us what the people looked like.
Yes, at least a couple people. I think that would be cool.
That'd be cool.
That is called radio.
Right. Sure.
No, but specifically Love is Blind. No, I saw on TikTok someone was like, man, wouldn't it be amazing if like, if you could just have like, what was it? It was just like if you were listening to a book, but you could like read it yourself or something like that. And you're like, that's a book.
That's a book.
Yeah, it
You're
was
listening
like
to a podcast. You can read it
reading.
to yourself at your own speed. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So So
Anyway.
our last couple, you can't unfortunately see their faces very clearly, but this is their only cast photo, is Ashley and Marita. They're 3 years together. Ashley was the ultimatum giver, correct?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And Marita thinks it's just normal to feel curious about other people.
This is where I have to feel I need to put in the disclaimer. It's a show. We're only getting an edit. They're all probably lovely, great people. Anything we say is only based on the edit of the show that we are seeing. But that being said, red flags instantly when before they even break up, Marita is told by Ashley, like, yeah, but I'm concerned because you have wandering eyes. Wandering eyes?
Before the trial marriage? Before the speed dating?
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh no, run away. Ashley, put your foot down. Leave. This is not good.
It's also just like, I'm not saying that. I don't know. I just like this. Yeah, Marita, it's giving 25. Like, just like the what I want is like the hopeless romantic who's gonna, and it's like, I'm a romantic. I love doing I love doing a thing like that. That's not like what a relationship is not like just the night where you do petals on the bed. It's
not an everyday thing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because if you want that every day, there are going to be days where that can't happen.
Right.
Exactly. Because
logistically, emotionally,
yes,
physically.
That reminds me of like, I think it's Dana just kind of, or no, Megan. I think Dana said it about Megan of just, no. It was Kyle. Sorry. Bridget said it about Kyle.
We'll get there.
Kyle, yeah, Bridget said it about Kyle that Kyle enjoys like just like the mundane, the routine or whatever. But I think it's important to find beauty in the mundane because life's not going to be all exciting every single day. And it seems like what Marita is looking for is just like that movie type of like, oh, okay, I come home to flowers every single day. Every moment I have butterflies. And it's just like,
right. And it's just like, it's very like, I want the new relationship part of the relationship the whole time. Yeah.
And if the answer of the wandering eyes is like, oh, well, because I like to get that little feel where you see someone and they tell you you're cute and all of that. It's like, that great. Then you're not in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
You need to go back to dating.
Right. Or as ends up being so true in so many of these dating shows, maybe you're poly and you should explore that. And this show is not designed for that. This is a weird thing where you're kind of doing that, but they don't call it that.
Yeah.
This is monogamy central on this show.
It's like
sort of, except also
exactly. It's like, no, this show, it is monogamy. You will be getting married to one person and you'll find that out by dating someone else at the same time. Like, it's so confusing. It's the same as The Bachelor, which is like so poly, but then is also like the most monogamous at the same time.
Wait, has this ever happened on The Bachelor where like two of the many who are there, not the lead, but two of the many, like decide actually let's be a couple? Has that ever happened?
In a like overseas version?
Oh, see,
yeah, not in the US.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often. Put more bi people on The Bachelor.
Yes, more bi people on The Bachelor.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have Gabby Wendy, who is now identifies as lesbian.
Oh my God, another great couple host, Gabby and Robbie is the whole show. Oh my!
I almost said that earlier, but I was like, they may be too big.
Right.
Maybe they are too big.
Yeah.
But Gabby is from the reality dating world.
Yeah. I know. And just the humor that Robbie would provide. I went to one of Robbie's comedy shows in Houston. Oh my God. My
So
stomach
good.
was hurting.
Anyway,
Okay.
I felt bad for Ashley
Yes.
pretty much the whole time.
And we
Same.
saw
Yeah.
almost nothing of Ashley. I think one of my notes written down was just like, wait, who does Ashley like? Because we're not seeing
It was
any.
all about, it was all about like what Marita exploring something with potentially AJ.
Yes.
So
And the other thing is I am multifaceted. I both think don't go on a show that is about, getting married if you don't want to get married. That is the premise of this show. And also feel very passionately that the reason to go on a romance reality show is to be messy and to
Right.
do whatever you
Yeah.
want. So like maybe Marita's the only one who's here for the right reasons,
right.
Listen, Marita's gonna give it to us. Okay. Like she's bringing it. Like
Yeah.
I'm glad she's on my TV, but I
Yeah.
would not date her.
Right. Like I in this moment feel very I feel so sad for Ashley.
Mhm.
Because she wants it so bad. You can clearly tell.
Yeah.
So next we jumped into the speed dating portion where now they're trying to decide, okay, who am I going to do my trial marriage with? And so what they kind of did was like focus on like key conversations. Like you could tell who was like, we don't need to pay attention to this, or this could become something. So
I just want to say it is so funny when they start this part and they're all just like, well, that's my ex.
yeah.
You have to get used to it because it's so obnoxious. You're not exes.
Like you're not exes.
Right. And the only one that really like messed with them was Megan. Megan's like, I can't call you my ex. Like that doesn't feel good.
Because we didn't break up, just the TV show told us we did. Like,
right. But we got to see Mel and Dana kind of get to know each other. It was very flirty vibes. And I wanted to make sure I pointed this out. So my girlfriend, Sarah, she said she felt like Dana really liked Mel because she was where she wanted Megan to be.
Yes.
I
think
that's
Dana,
gold.
Yes. Dana was like, I really enjoyed the fact that Mel is doing her thing, is out and proud, and this is much easier for me to work with.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's tough. Because were there any other dates that Mel really? I guess Mel did spend some time with Britney.
Yeah, Mel seemed to be really, especially at the I don't know what you call it. There's like the beach pool dates, and then there's like the really awkward one where they're all in like a small section of a nightclub together.
Right.
And so you're like, they're like, we want monogamy, but we want it to be messy.
Right.
So we have to have everyone being like getting the feels by watching their exes, openly date someone like 3 feet away. And but the way that Mel walked up and just like put the arm around the back of Britney, I'm like, oh, that's a power move.
Yeah.
I know. They were sitting 2 inches away from everybody.
I know.
Yeah.
That probably doesn't work on men, right? I can't pull that move.
Oh, I think you could pull that
they
move,
would like
Mary.
it.
Yeah. I think it's a calculated risk for anything, but whoever wants that, they would love that.
Who was it that at one point walked up and like did finger guns? Because that was also very mean.
That was Bridget.
Now I know why I like Bridget so much.
You just name all the things she did.
She did the finger guns, and then she was also like, haha, just did finger guns.
And that's my move.
Yeah.
Unintentionally. So much synergy.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh my god. So yeah, it does seem like Mel is kind of locked in on either Dana or Britney.
Yeah.
I could really see her with either one of them.
Yeah.
Mel's kind of smooth.
Yeah.
Like very
smooth talker.
Yeah.
Like whereas AJ is very like overtly flirty. I feel like Mel's more like, I know what I got. I know what I'm working with.
Yeah.
Let's talk about AJ.
Yeah.
Because AJ was on cloud 9. Like this was a playground and AJ came to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. AJ was the one that when they said to Britney, like, I know you're my ex, but they really were talking about it like Britney was her ex. Like she really was like, I felt like she was talking to her ex-girlfriend. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like poor Britney, because Britney is like so like when we see it at the nightclub, like heart, like tears,
crying,
tears. Like
that's
the kind of tears that happen when you just don't care about your makeup. Like, there's like okay, I'm trying to savor the mascara. No, she was like full blown gonna have to wipe it off.
Zooming in, and I was like, is she wearing like makeup? Because my makeup would be running, but like
She probably had a really good setting spray.
it was, yeah. Because she's also like bawling, but like in a cute way. Like it was pretty. You know, some people are pretty criers.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't an ugly cry.
Yeah.
But yeah, AJ was really soaking this up and just like, I just knew nothing felt genuine when it was just like everybody was the object of her eye.
I could not figure out who AJ actually really liked the best.
Yeah, it's impossible to tell.
I feel that because AJ was like laying it on so thick, of course Marita was like just perfect.
Yes.
Fodder for that. It was like she's gonna eat it all up. And this is the classic thing where it's like
about that.
It's just words. Like anyone can say, I'm so romantic, baby. And like, I mean, she did have like AJ did have this example of this amazing thing that she did for her and Britney. Was it for their anniversary or something? When she asked Britney to be her girlfriend. Yeah. Like, and clearly that is something that her and Marita have in common. Like, definitely. And it just also was just like, you don't fucking know this person. You're just like, you're so beautiful. I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
But
like
it was
Marita said she wrote a 98-page paper about her and Ashley's relationship.
Right. And it's like, yes, if that is what you're looking for out of Ashley, that she matches that is going to be difficult. Yes.
Yeah, but was it Marita that AJ was talking to and AJ was like, so how are you feeling about us? Like at the nightclub?
Yes. AJ was like, how are you feeling about us?
Yeah.
Fully us.
Us.
Ussing about Marita. That was crazy.
I feel like if AJ and Marita get together, this reminds me of, okay, in season 3 of the Ultimatum, Marry or Move On, it's sort of Sandy and whoever Sandy was with. You know, remember Sandy and Nick was like the painter, and then Sandy was like his way younger.
Was with
JR.
JR. Yeah. They're both actually on Perfect Match season 3 or 4.
Check it out.
Season is.
I feel like this could be that kind of thing where the two of them were just like, we're just like flirty and we're gonna have fun and we're gonna have a really great time. And then you can keep saying to the other person, like, we're just fully committing to the experiment. You brought me here. You wanted me to experience this. So I feel like that could be where this goes. Right. I also though was kind of getting the vibe like it was different based on the end of the episode. I thought that there was a chance that Britney was the one to pull the like, hey, actually, AJ, no, we're leaving. We're not doing this. And that AJ I could have seen AJ being like, okay, I had fun, but you're right.
Yeah. Like I got it out of my system.
That happening. Right. Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting. Even when AJ was on a date with Bridget, who AJ is just, AJ said, so she said, I'm single AF right now.
Right.
So she was like, just,
no, you're not.
No, you actually are not. But she said that this is her 3rd serious relationship. And she was like, but you know, I'm not bad looking.
Yeah, that was
this like
so
how
funny.
AJ got her groove back?
Right. Which like, yeah, it does sound like maybe she's been feeling not like in herself, like, she's not achieving these goals. Britney is like, I could see that being, a thing, but yeah, we'll see how this overall arc goes,
It's also fascinating because their whole story was that Britney was the one who approached AJ in the bar and like, asked for her number. And it's funny because I feel like that was like Britney's one move at the one time. I was like, I'm going to approach you, the person who seems to normally do the approaching.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we also got Pilar is so torn between Kyle and Bridget.
Yes. That was so fun. I love that dynamic. That's like, I'm just like, I wish the show had less rules. Let's see what like.
Exactly.
You know what? And the thing is, on almost any other reality TV show, I feel like they would have been like, actually, guys, this is so much cooler. Let's do this. Yep.
Yes.
We're just gonna allow it. We're gonna allow it to happen. Haley, I don't know what to do. You can do that thing that the other person did last season. Just you're by yourself.
Yep.
And
this has such
all of
a
a sudden
format.
It turns into couple to throuple. Have you guys seen that show? Yeah,
I haven't. I heard of it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. So here's the thing, Pilar. I get it. because Kyle and Bridget are both catches, and it's
Totally.
not just because I DM'd them, and so I feel a personal connection. No, I think it truthfully, it was also the moment when Bridget, I'm just gonna keep talking about her. When she was like, I feel you vibing with Kyle too, and I totally get that. And if that's what's best for Kyle, and that's what Kyle, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I mean, that made me like you more.
Totally.
So yeah, I don't know which way. Do you have an inkling of which way this might go? Because I feel like both of them were the ones we saw Pilar talking to the most. So I feel like it's gotta be one or
Right.
the other here.
Because for a second, I was wanting Pilar and Megan. Like they bonded over their families, but I
Yeah.
realized, okay, we didn't see much beyond that, but it's
Right.
still the vibes were like they felt comfortable enough being vulnerable with each other. But with Kyle and Bridget, I did feel more friend vibes with Bridget. It felt like they could have a great time together. They could be great friends, but it felt more romantic with Kyle. I don't know. The energy just felt different.
My prediction is Pilar and Kyle, but I could see it going either way.
Yeah, same. I
You might have to
feel
do
like
the
also
shakeout of
Bridget-
like who's Bridget going with, otherwise.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like Bridget had more options. So like maybe
Yes.
maybe it'll work out that way.
Right, exactly. But yeah, Pilar was just having a great time. Was there anything else before we get to the final couple that during all the speed dating that y'all wanted to call out?
Wait, I just wanted to, who was it that was? It was Bridget and someone else that both did pottery. Was it Pilar?
Yeah. It was,
Was
Pilar said she was a big hobbyist.
Hobby.
She
Oh,
wanted
yeah,
to
They're
like
both
blow
hobby-oriented
glass.
people.
I just
Yeah.
thought I have in my notes lesbians and pottery cry face, and I just felt that was a very realistic conversation.
Throwing some pots
throwing some
together.
pots together and being like, oh my god, that pottery studio felt very real.
Where is this season filmed? Where are these people from?
Well, AJ and someone else said they live in Orlando. AJ
Yes.
and Marie.
But
But they
also
were like
thought this was
shocked
California.
about it.
So now I'm
Right.
confused.
Yeah, yeah, they were shocked. But they said they bought a house.
I don't know.
Like AJ
That was also
said,
so funny. AJ was like I bought a house.
And
Well,
she's like,
actually,
"Actually,
Britney bought a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
I did love that. I did love
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm most invested in is the food truck people. It's like, what happens if you break up? You know?
Right.
I
also
look,
felt-
she had a valid question to ask.
Mhm.
Right. I felt like it was sad so that's Mel and what's Mel's partner? Marie. Like I feel like that was sad. It was like Marie has helped Mel achieve Mel's dream of doing the food truck, and then Mel is like, I don't want my partner with me every second of the day. Like that's just so sad. Like I don't know. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, can't relate.
Right.
Tell that to oh my gosh, Pilar and Haley, who've been
right
sharing a
they
bed
haven't
for 10
slept a
years.
night apart.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But and also Evvie, you have a great point on pottery. Literally, when I met my girlfriend, she volunteered at a pottery studio.
Exactly.
Yeah,
not even paid. Just loves pottery so much.
Just loved it so much. She volunteered so she could get free hours to do pottery.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But
You didn't meet her at the pottery studio, did you?
No, good old Hinge.
No, they met on Hinge.
That's right.
Famously.
Yeah. The app designed to be deleted.
Exactly.
And you went delete.
Right. We did it together.
Still taking up real estate on my phone. It's fine.
Our last couple that we kind of focused on in this episode and left off on the cliffhanger was Dana and Megan. So like Dana looked like she was enjoying herself on these dates. She was being very flirtatious with Mel. And I think she had a couple other good conversations. Mel and no, that was Mel. But anyway, she was really going all in on this experience. But Dana was like having trouble, not making connections, didn't feel like she was attracted to anybody. What do y'all think is going to happen?
Okay, I was feeling that Megan wants to leave, but I don't know that Dana does. Like,
No,
I
think no ounce of Dana wants to leave.
no ounce of Dana was, and I feel like she was like frustrated that that's what was happening for Megan. And I don't know. Okay, so in the straight ones, when someone bails, like, is this what happens? Is this
We've never seen a single person bail. I don't think. They always leave together.
They leave
and
together.
And it's usually like, it is usually surprised, like one person doesn't want to leave, but they do. And they almost always end up getting married then. Like,
right.
I don't know that we've ever seen people leave and then not be together.
Yeah.
After.
Last season, there were 2 couples that left.
Yes.
They snuck away in like the dead of night.
And that was after they split up, which was confusing. Usually they leave before they split up, because I think last season, wasn't it like we only followed like 4 there were a bunch of couples, but then
because 2 left. Yeah, we only ended up following like 3 or something.
Yeah.
So it'd be really, I guess, rare if Megan leaves by herself.
Right.
And I think, so my guess is just going to be that she stays because Dana wants to stay.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason.
And I think by default, then Ashley and Megan are going to be paired up because they haven't talked with anyone else.
Right.
Unless we're a whole nother episode of more dating, which we don't normally get. Normally it's just the one.
Right.
But
I feel like Megan is the kind of person that could end up falling in love with someone else in this. Like she's in such an emotional place, you know, and like her partner's kind of just being like, I don't know, just like figure it out, like tough it out, like come on. And like, I don't know, I feel like that Megan could end up being the Xander of this season. I don't know if that's true, but that's my out of left field prediction.
The problem is, unless we get a different combo,
right?
If Ashley and Megan are the 2 extras who are together, I'm not sure they're each other's type is the problem.
Yeah. Okay. We haven't really seen much of them to know if they have like chemistry, but okay. I think that I think that Ashley also will be relieved to be potentially, like, I feel like that Marita feels very stressful, and like to have someone like Megan who's not like pulling her, it just kind of is like, you're nice. I don't know. This is harebrained a little bit, but
I love to see a person like Ashley, who we've seen nothing from. I love to see them be like kind of emotional and then get someone who's like, I actually would love to shower you with joy and happiness and be exactly what you need. I love to see that. Even if it doesn't work out, it's just like a good experience for them to realize like that the grass could be greener.
Yes.
So very excited to get into that. What a good premiere. I feel like we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah. Loved it so much.
It was very enjoyable.
So happy to have this show back.
Expectations met.
Yes.
Drama already. Like great people bringing a lot. I'm very excited.
Yes. No matter what, people will get into the concept of the show. Especially on the Ultimatum Queer Love. Like there's some misses on the straight version where it's just like they never buy into it. You can tell it's a facade. But here they're like, no, I actually really thoroughly enjoy that conversation. I might be falling in love.
Right.
So it's so funny.
Right.
But yes, thank y'all so much for sticking with us as we recap the premiere. Don't forget to subscribe at the Love at First Sight feed and the RHAP YouTube channel. Evvie, where can people find you? Where can they keep up with you?
You can find me on Instagram at Evvie Jag and on Twitter, on TikTok as the account name is Evvie from Survivor. And I'm kind of on Twitter at Evvie Jagoda. I don't know. I got handles. You'll find me. Evvie Jagoda. I'm around. And please, if you like this podcast, you probably will like The Pride Has Spoken.
1000%.
We're having an all-star season. Aysia's in the first episode. We had Aysha and then Teeny and then Andy. And last week, Katora and Sabaya hard launched their relationship on our podcast. And I am pleased to report, this is breaking news. You guys can all have it here right now, that our guest for the finale episode is the one, the only Parvati Shallow. Heard of her? Check it out. The episode drops Sunday. So we're having a great season. Please check it out. The Pride Has Spoken on all the podcast apps, wherever you're listening.
This is a fire season.
It's so good. I know. It's so good.
Right. Mary, what about you? Where can people keep up with you?
You can keep up with me everywhere at Frail Mary and check out all the coverage I'm doing. Normally I'm like, I'm doing nothing. It's this, but right now it's a lot actually. So you can check this out, obviously. I just guested on Mess Magnets. So check that out as well. And then also covering Destination X with Sasha, although Sasha is traveling the world. So I got to speak with Chappelle, who came on. So reunited our old podcast partnership together for that. So you can find me everywhere enjoying that kind of thing. And I don't know, slide into my DMs because I'm sliding into everyone else's.
Yes. Slide into Mary's DMs. Ask her pronouns. Who knows what could happen, you know?
Right.
You never know.
And y'all can follow me on all social media at Aysha like Aysha. That's AYSHA like ASIA. Right now, we're in the off season for coverage of Married at First Sight. So me and Jason are over on Patreon at patreon.com/A Perfect Match podcast, where we're talking about old seasons. We're interviewing past Married at First Sight contestants. So definitely go check us out there. And then also, I was on Nothing But Netflix talking about Scandal with Chappelle. So had a great time there. And yeah, I think that is it. So yes, we are very excited to talk about the next batch of episodes. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And we will talk to you next time. Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.